The Tomb Raider series over at Amazon Studios was widely believed to be canceled and dead in the water until recently, when the star, Sophie Turner, unveiled her brand new physique to play Lara Croft on Instagram and promptly deleted it, which is weird. She took down the post after a lot of fans were unsatisfied with the results. So she has
Why would she take it down?
Because, you know, I mean, she's fragile. She can't take
Are they
the
just
criticism.
saying, no offense, but are they just being like, titties aren't big enough to play Lara Croft?
That's literally,
Lara Croft, sorry.
Yeah, that is the gist of
All
what
right.
people were mad about. They're saying that she just doesn't have the rack to play Lara Croft. It's as
Okay.
simple as that. She did put in a lot of work, as you can see. She's pretty ripped here.
Yes,
she has
she
a
is.
full visible 6-pack, maybe even 8-pack, you could say.
I hope that's water she's drinking. That better not be that better not be white wine.
I don't know. It looks like it.
It's like, I mean, is there anything less like action oriented than drinking your water from stemmed glassware? Just saying.
Yeah, but a bunch of these responses were like, Sophie Turner playing Lara Croft. I literally thought that show was dead and not working. But it actually came from an unconfirmed source reported in the Daily Mail last year that scripts for the series were taking a long time to come together and were deemed not ready for filming. The project reportedly went through 2 writers' rooms and incurred tens of millions of dollars in development costs without producing a finalized script.
Yeah.
But now, as of a report from Variety last week, we're told they've renewed their first look TV deal at Amazon MGM Studios.
There's
so
like
it is a go.
There is this great world to be in, which always seems to come up. Like if I ever do like Salty Nerd stream like on Saturday, I want to be in the realm where you're like a Phoebe Waller Bridge, or like one of these showrunners who just gets first look deals and then they never have to actually do anything, right?
What do you mean?
Like they get first look deals and then like J.J. Abrams got a first look deal with DC and made nothing.
And then
like
they just-
$500 million and made nothing.
Yeah, and then they just don't
Like
follow
that's
through
the
on
realm
it.
I want. Now a lot of it, it's contingent on payout, so it's not like they got
Right.
500. Like nobody just backed up a Brinks
Well,
money truck and
it's
gave
like
them
getting a
$500
book
million.
advance.
Yes, yeah.
basically.
So, a lot of the times they end up writing some of this stuff out, and then it just doesn't come to fruition. But the J.J. Abrams deal, he was supposed to make a Superman movie. There was supposed to be
Right.
the Black Superman movie that was supposed to come out like 2 years ago. Never did.
The Ta-Nehisi Coates
The Ta-Nehisi
script.
Coates one. Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad that didn't end up happening, but yeah, they don't really follow through on these deals.
Technically, she is still attached if we're to believe this, because it says,
Yeah.
formerly DJ2 Entertainment Story Kitchen is currently producing the Tomb Raider live action series in the works at Amazon with creator Phoebe Waller Bridge. Look,
It's real.
my dislike for Phoebe Waller Bridge is mostly tied to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery.
Not Fleabag?
I didn't see Fleabag. So most of my disdain is her character in that, and knowing that she had a large hand in the rewrites of that and of the last James Bond movie.
Having seen just clips of Fleabag and knowing her general demeanor and her style of writing and her comedic timing, someone like Phoebe Waller-Bridge should be relegated only to projects
Like Fleabag.
Like Fleabag,
Yeah.
or like My Lady Jane, or anything in that general like Lena Dunham world.
Now I'm gonna tell you why that matters. It's funny you mention that, because I asked
like Mindy Kaling, like those three are like the trinity of shit that no one likes in
I
Hollywood.
asked ChatGPT, give me a list of Amazon shows that have been canceled recently, and on that list is My Lady Jane, amongst many, many
Yeah.
others. And what you'll notice with a lot of these shows is that nobody's ever heard of them. It's a lot of comedies that nobody's ever heard of. Have you ever heard of The Sticky?
No.
It's listed as Canadian comedy. I don't know if that just makes it more polite, because literally the other ones are just listed as comedy. Everybody here knows that I love Canadian television, but I love Canadian television prior to 2018. Anything after that is crapshoot. The Pradeeps of Pittsburgh. Have you heard of that?
Not a clue.
Harlem.
Nope.
Almost Paradise you've heard of because I've mentioned
Yes.
it. I love that show. On Call.
Nope.
Well, you saw Citadel. We mentioned
I'm
Citadel.
aware of
Do you
Citadel,
remember
yeah.
Citadel Honey Bunny or Citadel Diana? Those are two separate shows.
No. Thank God I did not.
Cruel Intentions got one season and failed. The
Oh.
Bondsman got one season and failed. And then down here, There it is, My Lady Jane.
Which, if you don't recall, is the Amazon series where they put the King of England in a wheelchair that looked like a beer keg. We have a 20 from Corey Anderson. To my wife, Jessica, on our 19th wedding anniversary, I love you and miss you very much. I'm tired of this desert trash can. Shit is getting hairy out here. Tell the boy and pups I love them. And as always, if you see Kay, Diagon Alley.
Okay.
I don't know what any of these...
Well, the last part is
inside.
a Harry Potter reference, but I'm sure she appreciates that.
Shout out to your wife, Jessica.
I hope if she's watching, shout out to her.
If she's watching, yeah.
And to you guys for being so adorable. The point is that Amazon is very hit or miss when it comes to shows. Now, as I've said before, and I've made this argument 1,000 times, so if you watch this show regularly, don't at me. But the point that I make is that their success rate tends to be contingent on whether or not the story is felt to have any type of cultural cachet, which is that the reason that Nick Santora is allowed to make Reacher essentially the way he wants is because they've accepted that that's dad TV and that there's no cultural cachet in destroying it for their own ends. The same is true for The Terminal List with Chris Pratt. They'll essentially leave it be because the men will reliably come in and watch. And I was right, by the way. The audience was up for Reacher season 3 despite his anti-Donald Trump sentiment and comments. People have the attention span of gnats. I have the attention span of a gnat. So the point is that those shows do well as long as they don't see a benefit in changing it. The problem is high fantasy, video games, things like that, they see points in changing, hence things like Wheel of Time. Tomb Raider, there's exactly -% chance that they just leave it alone and create something essentially like the original game, or even like the Angelina Jolie movies, which I really, really still love that first one. You know, she kicks somebody with a motorcycle. How do you not love that?
Well, they did already try a feminist take on Tomb Raider,
in 2018.
which failed. So, and we'll talk about that later in the show.
That movie's actually one of those things where it's like, it was so generic in every way. I remember nothing about it except for Walton Goggins' sparkling teeth.
So
That's all I remember. I remember him being in the woods surrounded by like drab green and his teeth just like shining. I remember nothing else. I remember
his forehead?
And I remember she gets her H&Ks at the very end and I'm like, ugh. So it's some type of origin story because she gets her her trademark weapons at the end.
Okay.
Annoying.
Here's the big question that I want to ask. Is the success of the upcoming Tomb Raider series contingent on the cup size of the actress playing Lara Croft?
Yes. Either you believe in character accuracy or you don't. And you know what? You want to know how they can like take everyone out of left field, how they can kind of Uno reverse? Don't just make them bigger, make them polygons like the video game. Make them triangles.
If you're really trying to be true to the IP.
To be accurate, you should actually do the one that's from the original 8-bit system.
Minecraft movie style?
Yes! That is a fantastic idea. They should do that.
How about no?
Yes,
to both of those ideas?
Do it.
I do think they should have cast this more accurately.
Who would they? I don't even know.
One idea that was brought up, Anna, that Star Wars girl, said, is she going to get a boob job as well?
Yeah.
And someone replied to her saying, the perfect casting choice was right there. I think a lot of fans would love a more mature Lara Croft. An already seasoned Tomb Raider, and Haley Atwell proved with the Agent Carter TV series that she can headline a very physical actioner. So Haley Atwell was one idea.
That is, honestly, if they were going to go for like old woman Lara Croft, she's not old, but older than you would cast. Yeah, she's British. It works perfectly. And Haley Atwell.
Dua Lipa was another one that they threw out there.
I mean, I like watching her try to do an accent would be hilarious. It's still funny. So if you guys remember, if you watch the original Tomb Raider, you have to listen to Angelina Jolie do a British accent and Daniel Craig attempt to do an American accent, and they're both bad.
But Dua Lipa is British.
Oh, she is? Okay.
I thought she was.
I don't know.
She doesn't look very British, but she is, I think.
And she's not really an actress, but it's not like doing Tomb Raider is going to really require you to stretch your legs as an actor. I'm guessing what most people want is you don't turn it into some type of lecture about colonialism. And here's the other problem. TV lends itself to turning it into a lecture. A movie, you can make the argument that in a 2.5-hour movie, if we're going to go on the high end of the runtime, they make it 2 hours and 30 minutes. We're not talking Tom Cruise 2 hours and 51 minutes of hanging out of a plane. 2 hours and 30 minutes. You can do that mostly action and avoid the lecture on colonialism. 8 episodes of a TV show, every episode over an hour long. If you believe that they don't have it in them, that they have it in them to not do that, they are crack whores for that type of thing. They will not make it past 3 episodes
that it's The Last of Us
without making some type of commentary on some type of Western colonial overreach.
Here's another idea. Angelina Jolie. Could they bring her back?
No.
Why?
It wouldn't work.
Why?
She is too old. She's not. Haley Atwell's much younger than her.
Here's somebody saying, I'm sick of being told to move on when Tom Cruise and Harrison Ford can keep returning for Indiana Jones or Mission Impossible with walking sticks, but the idea of Angelina Jolie returning is too much for current day Zoomers who love women and aren't ageist. Just an observation. So, I mean, Harrison Ford should not have returned to Indiana Jones because he actually was too old and it was very noticeable.
Correct.
Tom Cruise, you know, he doesn't look his age, so it's like more excusable. Angelina Jolie still looks young. I think it would be fine. People would watch it.
Tom Cruise works. Harrison Ford definitely did not work.
But also Angelina Jolie probably wouldn't star in an Amazon show because she's above that career-wise. So
and you know that I'm like I said, when she did Eternals, as bad as that movie was, she put on an acting clinic as far as charisma goes and made everybody else look very small in comparison. Could she pull it off? Yes. Could Amazon afford her? Probably not.
I don't think that she would do it.
Yeah.
And then another take said, I wish they would stop making games into TV shows or movies. Games should be games, movies should be movies, shows should be shows. Come up with some original ideas and stop making shitty reinterpretations of stories that nobody wants and ruin the source material. That is never going to happen. That separation is never going to happen, especially after the success of the Minecraft movie. This is something that Hollywood sees as a winning formula, not only for box office, but also an opportunity, as you said, to insert whatever messaging or retroactive rewrites they want.
Also, it's a lie. Everyone says they want something new, but nobody ever goes to watch the new movies. It's a collective lie that everybody tells themselves.
Except for me.
There are 50
right?
there are endless new movies and shows made every year, made on unique concepts that nobody ever goes to see. I was talking to somebody earlier about Jurassic World on X, and I said, look, the first Jurassic Park movie made over $1 billion. The second one made 600-something million. The third one made 300-something million. So if you adjust for inflation, the second Jurassic Park movie crossed $1 billion as well. The third one doesn't come anywhere close. All 3 of the Jurassic World movies made $1 billion on budgets less than $175 million. People love slop. You can lie to yourself about it. You can pretend that the public wants something new. But if these studios are going to put hundreds of millions of dollars into something, they're not going to do it with niche ideas.
Okay, here's one last casting idea that I want your take on. Melissa Barrera.
Yep. I haven't seen enough of her to really know.
I think she fits the look.
I really like this. So in Rumble, Hera933 says the creator was really good. Also, there's one other person in the world, thank you, Hera, who liked the creator besides me. Literally the only other person. And that movie cost $80 million, and Gareth Edwards did it on like entry-level studio camera, like HD cameras. And it's fantastic and it's awesome, but it died on a vine. It didn't do the numbers that it was supposed to because it wasn't part of some bigger property. Unfortunately, for a lot of people who want to lie to themselves and pretend like everybody wants new ideas all the time, like on a large scale, that isn't true, and the numbers bear that out. Plenty of big budget movies fail, but way more big budget movies that are based on IP succeed than new movies succeed.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking low-budget horror,
it's just an unfortunate reality.
Which succeeds in relation to its budget, right? So it makes money back, and it makes a good amount of money, but it doesn't
Sinners
draw.
be included in that?
No, that's a high budget. That is a rare example of a high budget movie that's succeeding based on its own property. And we had to make videos on the fact that it was its own IP and it was something new. But the fact that that's unique proves that the exception proves the rule.
Right.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.